Hey, Brian, you know what movie I think is better than Citizen Kane?
What movie is that?
Batman and Robin. So this is the first and hopefully not last episode of In Defensive, where we talk about a movie that may not have done so well, either critically or commercially.
By haters.
And we try to kind of defend it, because we like it. And this one is, of course, Batman and Robin.
Batman and Robin single-handedly created gay rights and the legalization of gay marriage, and Joel Schumacher is a gay hero for making this movie.
I agree. Without this movie, I don't think the Nolan movies would have come out. So this movie, really kind of put the whole DC movies in, a pivot with the Snyder movies and the Nolan movies, for better or for worse, I guess. So either thanks, Batman and Robin, or God, I hate you, Batman and Robin.
Yeah, if you imagine a spectrum of Batman ranging from, serious, gritty noir to batshit crazy, Batman and Robin placed itself at that batshit crazy extreme, and only then, through the power of dialectics, could the serious Nolan movies be created on that timeline.
And then after the Nolan movies, they were like, oh, everyone likes the serious movies, so then they got Snyder to do the very serious, very dark.
Right, because really what audiences crave is a sequel to Batman and Robin, and Triumph. A continuation by Batman Triumph?
That was going to be the name of it.
Right, triumph over the haters who and the adversity and those who hate it.
It's funny though, because they made the Burton movies because they were like, okay, everybody thinks of Adam West and how goofy it is, let's make it serious. And then within not even 10 years, they completely went around the wheel again and went to super campy again. So it's kind of weird how they started with okay, let's not do that, and then ended up with that.
Hi, Freeze. I'm Batman.
I hope you don't mind, Brian. I decided to get crazy unnatural lights for this because I thought it was fitting, because that's what Batman and Robin has in almost every single shot.
I was about to say, if you could just put 7 red lights in this room and just bathe us entirely in red light, it would...
green and purple and yellow. Yeah.
You could easily recognize this video as being a reference to the film if we just bathed ourselves in light.
Yeah. First thing that I wanted to talk about was... Ariana did not agree with us, but I think a lot of thought was put in this movie. Clearly not the script.
Way too much detail was put visually into every part of this movie.
Yeah. And you know what, guys? Like it or not, it has a unique vision and a style. And some movies don't even have that. So there.
Like the scene with Poison Ivy in her new trap house where she kicks out all of the...
It's a Turkish bathhouse.
Right. Let's not forget that this is possibly the first and only time a Turkish bathhouse has been shown in Batman.
So stuff like that, right, where it's, you have this punk group, right, of a gang or whatever, and instead of it just being a bunch of people, they were decked out in neon clothes and neon face paint, and they had the crazy eyes.
Every set could take place in an alternate universe, and there could be no continuity, and that would make just as much sense as the transitions in this movie.
Because you brought it up, it went from the Frozen Museum to then Poison Ivy's place in South America, so they're just crazy, distinct places.
Yeah, I mean, only a homosexual could have done this movie. I think that's the real genius of it, is they said, move out of the way, straight people. You don't put enough effort into costume and set design. We need a flaming homosexual to really tie the visuals together, and that's where the bat nipples come in.
And before anyone gets mad, because we're saying gay a lot, we're not saying in a bad way, because I think it's been, he's outed himself as gay, Joel Schumacher, but,
by releasing Batman and Robin.
But, there are giant men, statues and buildings all throughout Gotham, and there are men by George Clooney's fireplace. There's I
didn't even notice that detail.
You see on the sides, you see these I don't think you see the faces, but you see the torso down.
Yeah, I mean,
or an LGBT
this is not a pejorative thing at all. We literally mean that this movie is gay, in a scientific sense.
Yeah,
not in any kind of...
in a motif kind of way.
Yeah, in a very hit you over the face with a penis kind of a motif.
Yeah.
You know, really slaps it in there and homes it in.
And so talk about what you think makes this movie an LGBT plus, like, positive movie.
Okay,
and
so
with the themes and stuff like that.
this is all basically... This is Batman's coming out movie. This is the movie where Batman... Because you have to imagine, right? Robin's been there the whole time. Batman just really didn't want to tell anyone that he has this boy, this limber, flexible gymnast boy been living with him this whole time. So Robin enters the franchise for the first time.
No, he was in the other one.
Robin enters the franchise for the second time. And you have this whole thing where, like, Batman, he has this beautiful girlfriend, and he just can stop thinking about her whenever he wants. He has zero interest, and she's like, oh yes, we're passionately in love, and I'm sitting here as the audience like, I doubt that.
Yeah, there's a scene where the woman asks them, oh, Batman or Bruce Wayne, when are you gonna get married? And he goes, without, like, changing his inflection or his tone at all, he's like, hi, I'm Bruce Wayne, blah blah blah, and then they say marriage, and he goes, marriage, well, honey, help me out here, and she's like, we are passionately in love.
Yeah,
he's just like, he's a robot basically. He's like, to female love, right? He's like, yes, women love, yes, but like, it's because he doesn't want to get married to her because he's gay, right?
Right. I mean, really, the issue is they took all of the footage of Batman looking lovingly at his girlfriend and spliced it in so he was lovingly looking at Alfred the whole movie, and that was a very strange direction to go in. But I think we all accepted it as the audience. I really think Poison Ivy, she is the symbol of female sexuality in this film. Yeah, but she's forbidden. She will literally kill you if you kiss her. I think the point is that women will kill you, and that it's better to live with your manservant and your man boy, limber, and then you accept a girl. Batgirl kind of comes in, and they're just kind of like, okay, you can sleep on the couch, you know what I mean? Like,
and then with Mr. Freeze, you mentioned that he did love a woman. And then what were you saying about that?
Right, Mr. Freeze fetishizes his lost heterosexuality with his frozen wife. He can never go back. He already came out of the closet. He's already gay. You can see from his power armor that he is a homosexual. And he can't go back to that, but he still mourns and longs for those good old days when he's watching his wedding video and all that. So Mr. Freeze is completely cold to female contact, including Poison Ivy, who basically cockblocks her. She really... Yeah. She gets turned on by Mr. Freeze early on in the movie, and then she screams, "You never told me anything about a wife," and things like that. Yeah. This might be shocking to some of our Gen Z audience members, but homosexuals marry women a lot of the time. In fact, for all of human history, homosexuals have married women in order to continue the gay gene and to pass it down to further generations. So it's important to note the social significance of Bruce Wayne having this girlfriend, because even in the cartoon, there was that scene, right, where Batman shows his badingadonk with the robe. What was that from? I forgot what cartoon episode.
No, that was year one.
You're getting about as much press as this Batman fellow. It is Batman you wanted to talk about, isn't it? Something about me being him.
Batman has always had women around him
as beards.
As beards?
Yeah.
Is that what you call?
Like if you when gay people marry a woman or date a woman.
That's called a beard?
How do you not know
That's
this?
Lit as hell. Okay, so Batman has all these beards, right? That he keeps putting on and changing, different hair color beards. And, right, this is this girlfriend's important because that's the thing, is that...
Would you say that it keeps up the Bruce Wayne facade, but it also keeps up his heterosexuality facade?
Yes, because the whole thing, right, is that from the cartoon, Batman needs a girlfriend so people don't find out he's Batman, but that doesn't make any sense. A girlfriend would find out that he's Batman just because he would be dipping off at 10 o'clock at night every night. Yeah. The whole Batman facade, him being Batman, is all a metaphor for him being homosexual. And the reason why is because all of the gay latex leather clubs are only open at night. So Batman dons the rubber nipple suit and goes out clubbing.
That's the thing, though. Like, you say, like, oh, there's a metaphor, right?
And
I don't think there really are
creepy
gay
men.
metaphors. It's just there.
That's the thing. Yeah, you're
Like,
right.
giant men all around the city, right? That have somehow, like, they formed their buildings around these gigantic, like, chiseled gods, right? One of them in the street is holding 2 balls.
Yeah, I mean that's not
It's
not
very
a
on the
metaphor.
nose.
Very, you know what? This movie can be described as very on the nose.
Yeah. I agree. I mean, we've been talking about Poison Ivy a little bit. I think that's a good segue. Another plus for this movie is Uma Thurman, because I think she's the only one in the movie who shows any emotion. Like, she has more than just, like, monotone, which is like Batman and Mr. Freeze, and kind of Robin. Like, he's angry and that's it, right? But then she's like excited. She seems like happy at times, and she's kind of like coy and stuff. So I think she's the only one in of the characters that like shows real emotion. And she's clearly the only actor there having fun.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
I know we've done this like the last day, but Batgirl shows up to fight, and then she like shows up, right? And then I think Poison Ivy turns around and just goes,
yeah, no,
she's just like,
no.
okay.
When Batman steps to her, she's
or-
like, I surrender.
That's
but
right,
really,
that's right.
really, she's like, I just needed to throw my hands up. Time to die.
Yeah, there's a scene where it was like, she's like raising her hand. She's talking about Mother Nature. She's like, Mother Nature turns to me, and it's just like a snap, right? It's like everything is very theatrical, and every time she turns, she's like, or has a face.
This is an oddly sexless movie. Poison Ivy apparently is the only woman with any pizzazz in all of Gotham. I mean,
Yeah, you're right. Everyone else is pretty boring.
yeah,
Which I think just speaks to like her. We were saying like, this movie gave me a newfound appreciation for her, because I know her from this and some of the Quentin Tarantino movies and stuff. But I don't know what she's done recently. But now I want to like find out.
Yeah,
and, like watch more of her, because like she was just really entertaining and funny in this.
I wish that somebody would take her role in Batman and Robin and say, Uma Thurman, that whole thing you were doing, do that in this movie.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, the whole thing is that, you could complain about Uma Thurman's acting and saying she thinks she's in a damn high school play or whatever, but there are bat nipples on the suit. If your complaint is that Uma Thurman does a little bit too much flourish, then your perspective on this movie is wrong.
I think the fight scene in the museum is pretty good, actually. Like, I think it's a weird mix throughout the movie, though, of it's really clear what's going on, like but then they'll introduce a really quick couple cuts where you're like, wait, where's he now? I think it's the second time Mr. Freeze shows up, but like Robin, he's like on the floor, right? And the camera does that thing where like he flips over and the camera moves with him. But when he gets to about here, they just cut it. So it's like it could have been this fluid motion, then he fights. But they just went like, cut, and then they're in like a totally different part of the room or whatever, and you're like, oh, and for all you Nolan fans out there, where do you think he got the idea of Batman fighting Bane on some kind of, metal bridge thing? What's that? What are they actually called?
Like an industrial kind of piping.
Yeah.
A lot of piping and grates, metal grates.
Yeah. Where do you think he got that idea? So checkmate, guys. Even the scene when she kills or tries to kill Mr. Freeze's wife, they have like that shot of her feet, right? She could have just walked, right? But like this movie has style and stuff. So she's, kind of like cross him and stuff, she's like taking her time with it, and then she kicks it, right? Like a serpent of sorts. Like, I don't know, I just think it's solid.
And it's a metaphor for all the penises that Poison Ivy kicks in her daily life. It's a lot. If you took AP Psych in high school and you know a fellow named Freud and his imagery, you will be right at home in this movie, because I mean, Mr. Freeze and his big gun, you know what I mean? He's always like, get the gun! Like,
he does say to Bane, the size of your gun does count.
That scene, along with another scene, like, there's a level, right, where there's sexual innuendo, and then you have just, like, foul dialogue, and, like, it's definitely on the foul dialogue spectrum. I'm gonna butcher this. we can fix this in editing, but Robin has some line to Poison Ivy about something, and Poison Ivy says slippery when wet, and just the whole thing.
Does she?
No, that's facts. Like,
Alright, we'll look it up then.
we have to look it up and splice it in this video.
That's insane.
We have yet to talk about just how fun this movie is as well.
Yeah, we should probably just talk about how fun it is.
This is like the 21st time we've watched it.
Yes.
And
I still get a kick out of it every time.
yeah, I actually walked into this whole experience with you thinking, oh god, I have to rewatch Batman and Robin again. And I just found myself just loving every second of it. And
from the beginning, though, well, not the very beginning, because that's garbage. The first time, you know, he crashes through the window, the glass, I mean, ceiling. And,
skylight.
Yeah, and he goes, hey, Freeze, I'm Batman. And then he just skates it down, and then with all the, you know, he's like, oh, it's the hockey team from hell. Robin, when he crashes through the wall with his motorcycle, the Robin symbol is there. Like, how? And then they're fighting, right? And they get their ice skates and stuff.
Right, the Go-Go Gadget ice skate scene is great because it harkens back to the Adam West where
this is
his
really Adam
utility
West
belt
it just has
everything.
everything.
The Mr. Freeze gets his gun kicked up. The laws of physics are not present in this movie.
No.
At all. I mean, Mr. Freeze will just slap a cop and a cop will just fly out of shot. I mean, people are just...
Yeah, doesn't he
10
punch...
feet vertical.
Yeah, he like punches a guard, he goes flying up, and like 2 seconds later he finally falls back down or something
Right,
like that.
right.
Yeah.
I mean, if you were to imagine this as some sort of Matrix-style simulation, the gravity in this movie is cranked all the way down.
Yeah, and the scene with the bike race when they go through the fire and somehow they fall off their bikes and they start sliding, but the bridge is also just straight, but they just keep going. Like when they fall off the bikes.
Right.
Yeah, and Robin and Batgirl, you know, they're just like falling, then they just like keep going for a really long time.
Right, and it's hard to tell how that would have meant that guy won the race because that wasn't the finish. Yeah, there's no finish line. Continuity is kind of an issue in this movie.
You can't say that, bro.
A lot of it is really like with the visual presentation of the movie. I mean, Mr. Freeze literally just deposits diamonds into his suit. They disappear into like a slot and then just magically...
Just, like,
right, with diamond-powered lasers, which, by the way, in the portrayal of diamonds in this movie, the power is focused through these diamonds. It's not like the diamonds are being burned as fuel.
Oh, yeah.
Except in Mr. Freeze's suit, where he just kind of straight drops him in there and just goes... You know what I mean? He kind of, he goes, you know what I mean? Like, he really...
He goes for it.
He goes for it. This is the most anti-police Batman movie I've ever seen in my life.
Well, I don't think the police are really even present, but they're also just... What are they gonna do? He's got ice, right? They just, like, they're easily frozen, or they're thrown up to get him his gun, or they're the commissioner and they're just horny fools, they can't do anything.
This is a fun, real fact. Police officers are trained to aim for the chest, and the issue with this in this film is that Arnold is wearing power armor, and they're just aiming right for the power armor. If they just shot a little bit up, this movie would have had a very short runtime. Either that or Poison Ivy would have stolen the show.
Yeah. This movie is just fun. I get why people don't like it as, like, you know, a Batman movie, I guess. But you can't not watch and have fun.
Right, I mean, we created this video entirely because every time we watch it, we're just cackling.
Yeah, for like the next week.
Right, we're just referencing...
Like, I'll walk into a room you're in, and I'll be like, oh, it's you, you know?
Yeah, and then if I know, but little old me now.
Oh, yeah, little old me now. Like, oh my god.
And just crashing through skylights. Always.
Oh yeah, every time I crash into a skylight that I know Brian's in, I'm like, hi Brian, I'm Eric. And you're like, I know.
Yeah, really, or the Bat credit card.
Oh my, how have we not talked about the Bat credit card yet? The Bat credit card is amazing. It's so silly.
It's amazing too, because you can imagine, like, Batman like walking into, you know, they show Taco Bell in this movie.
Yeah.
So you can imagine Batman walking into Taco Bell.
Can you imagine him?
He
though?
can't use his regular credit card.
Yeah.
It has Bruce Wayne
I
in it.
know.
Now you need the back card.
I wanted to see a scene, maybe in Batman Forever, just so we can, you know, a little payoff and set up and payoff, where, you know, the end credit scene, if those were a thing at the time, you know, he goes up to the bank decked out in his suit and he's like, "I would like a card, please." And he has to like set up an entirely new bank account that's not linked with Bruce Wayne. I love this part. I didn't notice this before. In the first fight scene, I think Mr. Freeze throws a pot at them and Batman catches it and he goes, "Oh, you break it, you buy it." Like, that's silly. But in the final fight, oh no, I'm sorry. When Batgirl first shows up, she kicks the pot that's in Poison Ivy's lair, right? So she breaks the pot, and you finally get that kind of, you know, if you have the pot in the first act, you gotta break it in the third act. Kind of like the gun, right? If you have the gun in the first act, you have to use it by the third, and they finally broke the pot, and that made me laugh so hard when I was watching this.
And Poison Ivy, she holds the knife. She
She's
takes
like
out
a
the knife.
Jedi. She's like getting her Obi-Wan stance.
It's very Kill Bill.
Mm-hmm. But that happened after.
Yeah.
Inspiration.
And
when Quentin Tarantino, I think, was asking her, like, okay, like, you know, we've been training a lot with swords. How do you, like, what's comfortable for you? She was like, she, like, did it, like, halfway through a sentence. And,
So not only would the Nolan films not have been made, but we wouldn't have had Kill Bill without this film. There is a scene where Batman's girlfriend says, "You will make someone a good husband someday," and I think that's very telling because she didn't say that you will make some woman.
she knew.
She knew.
Interesting. Guys, on that note, this movie is fantastic. If you haven't seen it in a while or ever, give it a watch because it's an experience. I had so much fun watching this again.
I had so much fun watching this movie,
It's fun. It's ridiculous. Uma Thurman is just awesome in it. She just makes the whole movie for me now because she's so over the top. We rest our case, I guess.
We rest our case.